Welcome, everybody, to the FTI podcast live on Facebook. For the first time, we're going to try it. Hopefully more of you people actually watch it. We've been doing these first 11. No, this isn't episode 11. I named this episode 11. This is episode 12.
I was just I thought 11 was last week.
This is episode 12. 11 was last week. I am
that and the live on Facebook threw me off for a second. I was like, wait, we do YouTube. But yeah, makes more sense this way.
This is just an alternate universe. The F1 race was actually good yesterday.
we discussed this before we went on that there is going to be a lot of F1 and F1 fan slander coming from me today. So if you are an F1 fan, just prepare yourself a little bit. So yeah, Kyle, how was your weekend?
That was good. The only day that I didn't spend with you was so that was probably the best day. No, it was good. I slept in and did nothing and then watched the F1 race and edited pictures and got us up on TikTok, which let's give a live update to our TikTok account. How many followers do we have on TikTok? 103 followers and 166 likes. That is more than any other social media platform. The one video has 731 views.
Yeah, it seems to be TikTok.
Screw this, guys. We're going live on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, hey, well, I think we have to have 1,000 followers to do that. So, you know, we're 1/10 of the way there.
Live on TikTok?
Yeah, I think you need like 1,000 followers.
I mean, heck, say some controversial. You're gonna say some controversial stuff
I was
here,
gonna say,
so
I don't know.
We'll put that up, and it's gonna.
I don't know if
it's
TikTok
DTSers.
I don't know if the TikTok, the DTS fans are ready to hear what I have to say. And I mean, maybe it's not even the DTSers. I think it's F1 as a whole. I mean, we can jump straight into it if you're ready, because now I watched maybe about half of the race yesterday. Like you, I was editing pictures. I had something like 1,500 pictures I took the night before. Narrowed that down to about 500 that I liked, and then tried to get around 200 to edit and post, because it just takes too long to do any of that. But I mean, at one point I forgot the race was on, because I also had the NASCAR race on. Those speakers were closer to me than the F1 TV speakers, but I don't get the draw. I sent you today articles about F1 fans complaining about the Americanized intros, the WWE style intros. And
it's not WWE style. That is just NASCAR IndyCar style. I've seen some ridiculous NASCAR driver walkouts where they have the door that that was IndyCar. IndyCar had the door that opened up at the 500 last year with that fog, and
for the All-Star race too, I think. And then I mean they started the Clash that way this year too.
Yeah, that one was ridiculous because they had a guy that had no clue what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, at least they had freaking LL Cool J.
Well, and that was
who was trying, The orchestra was cool.
I was reading through the article. I sent you the article earlier today. I think it was by The Mirror UK, or
it's one of those stupid. I thought it was it Sky, or was it?
No, it was Mirror. It was Mirror, because they were talking about uh Liberty Media and Sky allowing that and allowing uh F1 to be so Americanized. And uh, I'm not by any means, flag waving patriot, blah blah blah, but we can not do the pomp and circumstance of F1 every week. It doesn't need to be the lamest thing on the planet. I was reading through the comments and honestly, it just made, and I think a lot of the comments were British because the Mirror is a British website. It made a lot of British people look racist as hell. I mean, they're in the comments like, who is Will I Am and why LL Cool J and blah 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 blah. And it's
How do they not know who Will I Am is? It's not like the Black Eyed Peas were a strictly American band.
yeah.
I don't think Will I Am is even born American. I don't think. Is he?
And just reading through these comments, it was,
I guess
let's not let F1 be completely Americanized. They already get 3 races. Let's not turn this into an every week thing. And it's like, okay, so if we do
it's
it for
not going
just
to
the
be.
3, yeah, it's not going to be because you Europeans are lame and boring.
Man, they're going to
And
be
then we're
really pissed off at Vegas.
well,
You think
that was other
Miami's
comment, yeah.
you think Miami is bad. Wait until they get to Vegas. Vegas is going to be a mess. Even
Yeah, and
we're probably even going to think it's too far.
yeah, and I mean, was some
You
of
don't think they're going to have showgirls and especially
oh yeah.
like
Well,
the
that was
Liberty Media is literally putting these ones on. So, of course they're going to be a big spectacular.
that
They
was
have
one of the things
complete control of it.
in what because I read 2 articles. I think I sent you both of them. I don't remember. But reading through the comments, one of them was like, "Oh, they took away the grid girls to be PC." And then there were people in the comments complaining that, "Oh, MotoGP still has the grid girls." And it's like, it is that something you care about?
It seems to be on a lot of the F1 fan pages on Facebook. They want them frickin' grid girls so bad.
It's like
I would rather see the grid kids who, are interested in motorsport or get like kids that are in karting or something and then they get to be like
well,
there in front of their hero.
I think it goes back to everything else with F1 and just boomer fans of everything is they can't let go of the past. You cannot change something. It has to be just, oh, well, back in the day, we did this. We did this. You kids are being soft. You can't do this or that. And it's like, no, you try something different every once in a while. Were those intros a little lame? Yeah. I mean, they were a little cheesy, but you can have fun with it every once in a while.
I mean, this is also the same people that probably are like, "Oh yeah, the F1 theme." It's
Yeah.
like F1 literally has an orchestral theme that they had somebody compose. Like,
Yeah. And to do a little bit of driver slander, I think this quote is from Lando. I forgot to screenshot who this one was. But we do a lot of things. Probably the only sport where we're so close to the fans. We do so much publicity for the fans, but as drivers, we all just want to sit and focus on what we need to focus on, not so much TV and everything.
well, they've never been to an IMSA race, have they?
They've never been to an IMSA race, a
Or
NASCAR
IndyCar or
race,
NASCAR,
IndyCar.
where
I mean, look at the
F1's like the least accessible. Where
look
they
at
mean
the.
they're the closest to the fans.
I'm
That's
just
the most BS thing I've ever heard.
I'm
Is
just
that we're the closest to the fans.
yeah. Look at
Yeah, right.
the grid walk before a NASCAR race. pit road is basically shoulder to shoulder. They've got when Michael Waltrip does his little grid walk thing before the race, they basically have security pushing people out of the way so he can do his run down the grid walk. You got another
you want to
quote.
talk about something that's cringe.
What? Yeah, I mean that's
At least F1 has that with Martin Brundle. It's a lot better.
You got Bottas say, there's no other sport where the athletes do so much stuff before the start of a race or event. You've got NASCAR drivers, usually the Thursday, Friday before a race, maybe sometimes Saturday. They're going to a sponsor's retail location, some of them, to do autograph signings. It was on Door Bumper Clear last night that, you get an Xfinity driver that goes to one of these, and you might have 100 to 200 people show up. You get a truck or a cup driver, up to 500 people there. So what F1 driver is personally dealing with 500 fans in one weekend? Not counting the grid walk, sponsored VIPs at the track itself. These F1 drivers need to get their head out of their asses. George Russell also suggesting that they're the only athletes that deal with this level of pre-event proceedings. Reading through that article is an embarrassment. They don't do anything with the fans. They are the most restricted from the fans. I mean, look at just all of the policies that come with it. I was reading that article and just getting so frustrated that I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. They are not anywhere even close. I mean, you can go to an MLB baseball game most of the time and get autographs, especially if you're a kid. NFL games, you see the players pregame throw in the football back and forth with the crowd and all of these other things. What sport are they talking? Maybe, Premier League soccer, maybe they don't have as much interaction with the fans, but what the hell are they talking about that most don't have to deal with this much? A lot of them were like, oh, I just want to sit and concentrate before the race.
Yeah, this is the time. I think it was Fernando Alonso, I think, was like, this is the time that we need to be with our engineers.
And making strategy.
And what other competitive sport takes their person away 15 minutes before they're supposed to be on? I don't know. Every other motorsport event that happens.
They were complaining.
I have to be right back. My stove is going off, and of course the wife isn't home yet.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
But I mean the strategy comment cracked me up because it's what are you strategizing? Are you on tire strategy A or tire strategy B?
Yeah.
Are you pitting at lap 15 to get off of the softs and go on to mediums for the rest of the race, or are you it's like what fantasy world do and here we go. I'm going to go into my slander of everything else. What fantasy world do these F1 fans and drivers live in that they think this is such a big deal? Who cares that they did the driver's parade? Because you know what? Most of that's all the fans are going to get to see of those drivers. that's all the people that spent hundreds of dollars to go see this. That's all that they're going to get to see their favorite driver, in person, is that driver's parade of them going around the track.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, look, there were people that were buying a ticket just to sit in the Dolphin Stadium and overlook the paddock.
The paddock, yeah.
Like you're
But
not even seeing cars; you're seeing people, that look like freaking ants, and that's what
I
learned
just,
about. Oh, we did this.
you had in that Mirror article, people complaining about the celebrities that were there, and this is a common theme I've seen over the past few years with F1 of, oh, you've got these celebrities on the grid walk that know nothing about F1 and blah 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 blah. Well, what are they going to do on that grid walk? Just interview random neckbeard fans? The
Yeah.
ones that know everything about F1. Are we going to get, Tom Smith from some small town in Great Britain, and he's gonna tell you who won the 1964 Silverstone Grand Prix or whatever.
So should we remove all the celebrities from the sidelines of of basketball games and the
Premier League,
US Open and
Premier League,
on this?
Premier League soccer, and this and that, and it was just they were. Someone was complaining it was that Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez were there, and I think maybe part of the opening ceremonies or something or another. And it's like, yeah, they are.
Daniel Ricciardo shouldn't have been at the Met Gala. I mean,
yeah, Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez are a part of an automobile race in the United States. Because the Fast and the Furious series, as cringe as they are after the third movie, are a huge part of automobile culture across the world. Not just the United States.
The one thing I couldn't stand, though, was all the Paramount Plus advertising everywhere in the post race.
Yeah, I didn't make
and
that
I
far.
do think that giving the drivers, which I think the drivers are sore sports about it, like you're in a football stadium,
Yeah.
so they're gonna give you a Miami Dolphins helmet and a jersey. And none of the drivers are like a NASCAR driver would be slipping that freaking jersey on, drinking a beer out of the helmet or some crap.
To me, like I said, when I was reading those articles and everything, how cringe is all of that? And I know I keep using that word today, but how cringe is it to complain that you're one of 20 people getting to race at the world's topmost racing series? How cringe is it to complain that you get to do things no one else will ever get to do?
I'm sorry you have to deal with your privilege.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel so bad for you guys having to.
And then here we
you
go.
Gotta come over here to the United States, where
here we go.
You make a whole bunch more money.
Now we're really going to start
is bought or is headquartered basically.
Now I'm going to start on the real F1 slander because
man, here it goes.
While scrolling through Twitter today, in your trending tabs, you can go scroll down in the For You trending, and you'll get the algorithm based stuff of what you want. And of course, so my first one is NASCAR, and then the second one is auto racing. It always ends up just being F1 stuff. So, in how many laps has the rest of the field led this year compared to Red Bull?
Not many.
16 laps.
Oh
Red Bull has led 200 laps. This is after 4 races. Pinnacle of auto racing. It's the best, best we can get out there. One team has led 200 of the 216 laps in 4 races. Yesterday's race at Miami, okay? This race had no yellow flags, virtual safety cars, red flags, retirements, errors during pits. 20 cars times 57 laps equals 140 flawless laps.
So I will say it was a boring race, but they did something good with the new surface this year, and there were actual pretty good battles, even in the midfield, that gave a little bit of excitement. Where Leclerc is battling, Kevin Magnussen, going back and forth, and just it was all kind of playing strategy in when to break, and you had according to Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll making an amazing move
in turn 1 because he was
yeah.
watching the jump. Well,
Yeah.
and here again,
which is how boring is the race that you can just
how boring are you? Is your drive there? And I can see, some of like there's always stuff about like older NASCAR stuff like that. But I mean, in NASCAR, you are kind of going in a circle. It's not going to be they're not trying to reference themselves as the pinnacle of automobile racing. And there's only, so many people in the world that can do this. And, we can't give, shit, I forgot his name. IndyCar driver.
Colton Herta.
We can't give Colton Herta a super license because I kept wanting to say Connor Daly for some reason because I think he's a cooler driver, maybe. We can't give Colton Herta a super license because,
it's the mustache.
He'll never be able to do this. It's to me, it's just an embarrassment. More slander here. Alonso this year, his races, 3rd, P3, 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 P4, P3 on F1. They're saying one of the Twitters, Mr. Consistency with those. Oh, but wait, Red Bull has been dominating this season. Verstappen, P1, Perez, P1. Perez, P1, Verstappen, P1. Verstappen, P1, Perez, P5. Perez, P1, Verstappen, P2. Verstappen, P1, Perez, P2. Oh, wait, it continues. Yuki Tsunoda in 2023, P11, P11, P10, P10, P11. You can say, this is, it's the consistency. I don't know about, there being consistency if you're basically finishing the same spot every race. If the Red Bulls are just basically switching off 1 and 2, and then you've got Alonso basically just taking 3rd place in every race. What makes this the pinnacle? Where, we joked last week about, is Max Verstappen going to win today? Which Red Bull is it going to be?
I mean, that's what it always just breaks down to. I mean, it used to be which Mercedes is going to win.
And
a few years back, it would have been much different, but the last 2 years, it's been which Red Bull's going to win. In 2021, it was, is Max going to win or is Lewis going to win?
Yeah.
Year before that, was it Valtteri or Lewis, maybe Max or somebody else? Occasionally we'll get the rare, like Esteban Ocon's win a few years back, or Daniel Ricciardo's win at Monza, or it was either Monza or Imola. It was in Italy. I think it was Monza a few years, but I think that was 21. Occasionally we get those weird wins, but they're not that often, and it's only because one of the it's either because it's raining or
Yeah.
one of the other teams, the dominant teams, screwed up really bad.
Yeah, I mean,
The
it's
only
just,
way we get somebody besides somebody in the the top 3 teams, which I guess now we have to consider
yeah, I mean,
Aston Martin. I mean, they literally have a hybrid Mercedes
yeah,
Red Bull. So I mean,
we know it's not the
they've done it
Mercedes
right.
powertrain that's the issue this year. It's the car itself. Well, and last year. But yeah, I just all of the articles about the complaining about this, complaining about that. I think I'd rather watch the pre race where they're trying to have some fun over the Red Bull show. The
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some battles. Max was able to come from ninth to finish first, but I mean, you can't tell me no one in that field, not even his own teammate, had anything to give to Max. I think it was like 11 laps in, and he had already made up 4 or 5 positions on the field. You mean to tell me no one?
Yeah, he was in P2 by lap 15.
You mean to tell me no one in that field has any? Well, and this goes to the rules too of Formula One. No one in the field has anything to challenge him at all. No one,
No.
no
And, and
manufacturer.
it's because of one guy though. It's because of Adrian Newey, and it's not the power unit that's doing the magic. It's the straight line speed of the Red Bull. Red Bull kind of struggles at a track with tons of turns and not a lot of straights because they have built such an aerodynamic
Yeah.
car. But yeah, and you'll see the Ferrari do a little bit better at some of those tracks or have more turns, and the Mercedes will do a lot better at those tracks. But Red Bull's really good at building a car, and apparently Max is a great driver. And people will say, well, of course he is. He's outbeating his teammate. Well, yeah, when they build the car basically for him,
Well, yeah, I mean that was
it was the same issue that Daniel Ricciardo had.
yeah.
Daniel Kvyat had who else? Oh. Gasly had, Albon had, everyone had because they build the car to Max. Same thing that Daniel Ricciardo had at McLaren. They built the car for Lando. They build the cars for whoever their star driver is. The car was always built for Lewis. That's why the magic button was in a stupid spot because that's where he liked it. And the cars have to be exactly the same. And so when you build it for your dominant driver, of course your secondary driver is going to not be as good.
Yeah, I mean it's just
because it's not their driving preference.
I can appreciate that F1 is it's the most technological of all of the racing. It's the pinnacle of technology in racing. But how do you say it's the best and most entertaining when they put on a race like that?
And I don't think you can get that in a manufacturer series. You can't get super great racing in a manufacturer series because even in IMSA, yeah, there's different manufacturers, but even in GTP, the cars are very, very similar.
Yeah, and I mean, in IMSA, you've got BOP, balance of power. So if Red Bull has 5 races now, won all 5 races, maybe they get an extra 200 pounds added somewhere. 15 horsepower knocked off. A little less DRS movement. I don't know.
I think DRS is stupid, to be honest. I would love to have more of a push to pass like IndyCar has. where it's more strategic. You don't get all of it.
Yeah.
You know,
You
you
get a
can't just you
certain
don't get it every
amount.
lap. You need to have more strategy, and that would probably bring out
Or
better racing.
here we go. The Formula E like power up zones.
Oh yeah, I mean, an F1 car going offline is just dangerous, though. Those things.
If they're the best drivers in the world, they can figure it out. I saw something. It was I was watching, I think, Spa highlights, and one of the Toyotas took. I might have been a Rouge or whatever. One of the turns a little wide, and there, the announcers are going on about, those are track limits. Those are track limits. He's got to give those spots back. And but if there's asphalt there, use it. We don't need these. If you got the 100-yard run off of asphalt, I know you like to make fun of NASCAR at Coda because of those same things, but damn, you've got 100 feet of asphalt there. Use them. And yeah,
I it just pisses me off when we get. First of all, I don't know why any IndyCar driver would want to go race F1. I mean, yeah, you'll make a crap ton of money, and you can say, you're part of a very small club of little fancy prissy boys, but why? It doesn't show that you're a good driver. I mean, look at Logan Sargent. He's sucking. Nick DeVries is doing horribly. Like, and these are guys that dominated in, lower formulas or Formula E, and now they get into F1 and they can't do anything because they're in a lower team because all the higher spots are taken.
Yeah, I
or
mean,
or you sit out and you become a reserve driver. They had Alex Palou in the post race doing interviews, and it's like, okay, with a McLaren team get up on for one, so he's really toting that court decision there. But what is he going to do after this year? I mean, they're not going to drop.
Yeah,
I mean, Lando, they're not going to drop Lando.
no.
Because Lando is their F1 Pato, and they're not going to drop. I don't think they're going to drop Piastri. So what? You're going to go become a reserve driver and never get to race?
Yeah,
I mean, why would you want to do that to your career when you could go? You're an IndyCar champion. Go and fight in IndyCar. And I mean, if Rosenquist does well this year, because he's the only one I think that doesn't have a current contract, they're not going to get rid of Rossi. They just got him. They're not going to get rid of Pato ever, probably, unless he really screws up. But what if Rosenquist is doing really good this year? You're just going to ditch him to get Palou in there? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, look at Grosjean, for example.
You're happier.
You're coming from Haas, where every week you're battling for what's at the time not getting last place,
finishing the race.
Yeah, to finish the race to now, and we keep talking about it. He's on the verge of a win every week.
He has another chance this weekend.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be some crazy shit if his first IndyCar win is the 500? Wouldn't that be insane?
Yeah. Over all of the,
all the road courses.
Yeah.
And then he wins the 500
and all of this. And yeah, he comes out and
it's
just
like
wins the 500.
Tony Kanan's just like, what the hell, man?
But yeah, I mean, finish this one up because we've been going on this one for half an hour now. That's impressive.
Oh,
without much sidetracking. It's
a lot to get pissed off about.
It's just silly to all of the slander on NASCAR. I mean, anytime you get on F1 Twitter, F1 TikTok, even F1 YouTube, it was one of the big the F1 creator who does the comic review videos.
Oh, I bet it was the guys that quit the one podcast and created their own. I
They
think
were
they react to Twitter memes.
I think they
Is it those
tried to
guys?
I don't know because I tried to watch it because they did like a review of the IndyCar race, or maybe
Oh, maybe it's a different one.
yeah, I think it's a different one. But it was just this most cringe video about the IndyCar race, and I think they did like an intro on like how IndyCar differs from F1. And listen, I mean, maybe we're just Americans. Maybe the red, white, and blue runs thicker in my veins than I think it does. But F1 sucks. It's
I I as I've become more into IndyCar over the last few years, it, it's just
it's a
not.
little harder to watch.
Yeah, it's not as fun to watch
You
F1.
can
It's
you can in F1 you can do the strategy of they like to do the radio chatter a lot where these tires are gone, the tires are gone, this, that, and the other. But that's the only real strategy you have.
yeah, there's no
Like
fuel
we said,
saving. I
like
mean,
we
there's
said
fuel
last week.
saving because there's no
Yeah,
refueling, but
like we said last week, it's with that pit road incident, you're on the hard tires the entire race, and then you just switch to softs for one lap. I think the two stop strategy this week was like 15 or 20 laps on the softs and then hards the rest of it. Yeah, with no
yeah, I think most of them were using the mediums and the hards.
mediums, whatever the hell,
And
man.
and I did have it wrong last week when I said the C5 was the hardest. Apparently C5 is the softest.
Oh, you just got it
Makes
backwards.
makes no sense.
But yeah, I mean, no real strategy to it. The comment the drivers made about, we should be using this time to strategize. Of what? What quarter you're going to let Max pass you in when he's lapped you for the third time? If you're going to take tires on lap 15 or 16, it's just, to me, it's not exciting. It's not exciting to watch the cars go around the track and finish in the same spot every week. And I'm a NASCAR fan. I'm watching cars go around in a circle.
But I mean, it would be the same thing in NASCAR. If somebody was winning every race, it's not fun anymore.
2020, you had Harvick and Hamlin. I think between the two of them won 20 or 21 races.
Oh my God.
21, 22? Yeah, 21, the last year of the Gen 6. Kyle Larson winning 10 or 11 races. So it's which
Speaking of Hamlin and Larson, I
was a
think this
good
is
transition.
perfect segue into Kansas.
So, do we want me to just keep ranting, or?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's be controversial because I watched the highlights and
I watched all but a little bit of the second stage. Like I said, halfway through the F1 race, and then I guess that would probably be about the second stage of NASCAR. I ended up going outside and helping my roommates with a little yard work, and by helping with yard work, I played with the dogs while they did everything. But yeah, great, best race of the season. Best race of the season tenfold. I think both Kansas races last year were probably definitely top 5. This new car on the mile and a half is, I mean, almost perfection. That race yesterday had, I mean, just about everything. You had lead changes, you had comers and goers, you had strategy, wrecks. I mean, wrecks galore there in the first probably 2/3 of the race. And a lot of them were just drivers losing it. I mean, you had Christopher Bell wash up the track and touch Ross Chastain. And you had Noah Gregson spun out at one point on his own. And you had Willie B, just a handful of laps into the race, spin out on his own. And this will go into, some of the discussion of the race. You had him spin out just a few laps into the race, have to restart from the rear, speeds on pit road, clips the wall later in the race, and comes back and finishes third. The race yesterday was pretty much coming down to Toyota versus Hendrick Motorsports. You had the Hendrick Chevys that were great on the short runs. And then the Toyotas that were better on the long run. Sorry, I'm still a little congested from last week, but only Ford in the top 10 is Joey Logano in 6th. But yeah, I mean, great race. The restarts were like California, 4, 5 wide for a couple laps until it settled down. You had the leaders battling it out for the lead for a few laps. Every restart, it wasn't like most of these tracks where whoever's on the preferred line starting first gets that push and it's just right to the lead. No, yesterday you actually had to work for it.
Yeah, I saw who was it? Who was it that first took out Larson? Well, they didn't take him out. They misjudged.
Oh, I completely forgot who did that one.
It was the number 2?
That'd be Austin Cindric if it was the 2.
I think it was Cindric. And he was trying to, come up the track and tuck in between Larson and Chastain and just barely clipped Larson.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, wait, was Cindric in the? No, it was whoever was in the McDonald's car, which confused me because it was
Tyler Reddick.
Bubba.
That was Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Yeah,
because
2311
normally
is just like sharing all of their sponsors.
I was like, what the hell? And then Chase Elliott wasn't in a Napa car, and Truex wasn't in. They pulled an Indy car where they just go and switch every freaking sponsor.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what the car is now.
So how did you feel about that battle between Denny and Kyle? How do you feel about the move?
I can see why people don't like Hamlin. I mean, I don't think you got to push up on him to win the race.
Okay, I'm very conflicted on this. We know
who you're a fan of. We know how you feel about each of these drivers, and it's completely different.
But what Denny did is what NASCAR is built on. Famous Dale Sr. wrecking Labonte at Bristol. I was just trying to rattle his cage. I don't know if that was so much a big deliberate wreck. He didn't get up into his rear bumper and just completely send him into the wall. He tried to side draft him going into the final turns and misjudged and clipped him. This is me standing up for Denny Hamlin. Write it down. But
6:45, 5:8:23.
These are the moments of like that NASCAR is built on. That battle of the last 15 laps of, Hamlin pulling up to Kyle and Kyle making a move and Hamlin falling back and Hamlin coming back and, Kyle using the lap car as a pick and Hamlin falling back. I'm sitting there. I was trying to, like I said before we started, I was uploading my pictures to our Facebook, 10 pictures at a time because my internet didn't want to cooperate and my files were too big. I completely forgot about my pictures and just sat in my chair just watching the TV for those last 15 laps. You know,
Now one thing I do want to mention, and it's the punch heard around the world. I don't know what Gregson was so pissed off about. It really didn't look like that big. I mean, compared to any other move in that race, that didn't look.
so
I mean, I get everyone's pissed off at Chastain. He's
I was
kind of a
listening to the teardown today, and they were obviously talking about that because I mean I think that took away from even Denny's move. I think that was one of the best things that could have happened to Denny because he's now not public enemy number one this week. Everyone kind of forget about that now, and we can focus on Ross and Gregson. But their theory is that the some of the older drivers were kind of encouraging Gregson to go over there and do that. But they also Gregson and Chastain had issues at Talladega a couple weeks ago. So I think it's a long brewing thing, but they were saying that as Noah was walking over there, Chase Elliott kind of gave him some encouragement. It was allegedly said something about, oh, someone should really do something about him, and maybe that led to Noah going over there. But and the guys on the teardown also kind of brought this up about it keeps Noah in the news. It's kind of genius, even though he's the one that ended up getting punched. It's kind of genius. His goofy haircut last week had everyone on social media talking. And now this week, being the first driver to actually go up and get physical with Chastain. Who's the biggest story this week? Noah Gragson. He's having a rough rookie season, but who's the big story this week? It's Noah. Who's going to gain a couple extra fans from, Chastain wrecking out their favorite driver? Yeah, Noah probably gained a good handful of fans this week. So, yeah, did he get? I think he kind of got sucker punched. He started it. He grabbed Chastain by the fire suit, but if you watch the video, Chastain puts his arm
driver overalls.
Chastain puts his arm on. He holds Noah's right hand, so Noah can't swing. And then you're gonna do that and take a shot yourself. I think the security should have let them go at it a little bit.
I mean, like you want fans to get excited, have a little fun. But I'm sure both of them are going to have to have a public apology and all that crap because
not really, not most of the time.
They're not pansies. Because I thought they were being pansies a while back. And
did you see
drivers would fight or they say a curse word and they have to
Did you see the Kyle Larson interview? They're interviewing Larson and
the news reporter puts in mic and he's like, "Can you please not do that?"
Oh no, they're he's
was a different one.
They're interviewing him and he's like, "Oh yeah, coming up second. It just it sucks. I gave it my all there, but we were getting loose and giving the answer, and then the crowd in the background starts going wild, and they look around and he must have been able to see it because he gets this big grin on his face. You'll have to look it up later. It's hilarious. And I think it was completely deserved? Yeah. Do I think it's kind of funny that it was Noah? Yeah, because he's had some on and off the track stuff.
It would have been so much better if it was Busch. And even
Well, and that
the
was
commentators were like, "Yeah, Chastain's not going to mess with him because he's the one that probably would go after him."
well, he was involved in an incident. Chastain was involved in an incident with Kyle Busch yesterday, and Kyle says, "Oh, that's his one warning. That's his one, strike." And Bush's crew chief or spotter comes over the radio and says, I think he's out of warnings by now. And here's another thing I've heard brought up over the last couple of weeks is this driving style is almost necessary because of the playoff format. The winning you're in, winning means everything. That format means you've got to do whatever you can to get those wins. But making an enemy of the entire field, even your own teammate from Coda, isn't going to help you come playoff times. Come playoff time in those, important cutoff races, thinking Bristol and Martinsville, when you really need, those couple extra spots, because he's not going to have the wall ride this year. There's no Hail Melon this year. When he really might need those couple spots, you got to have people racing him extra hard because of the way he raced them all season long. You've got incidents in the first couple laps. What was it last week when he wrecked out Kyle into the first stage? He wrecked Kyle Larson, and it's, you're gonna have some guys that are a little bitter that maybe they didn't advance as far as they wanted into the playoffs, and maybe they end up in front or behind Ross Chastain in one of those important cutoff races. He better, in those cutoff races, and I mean playoffs in general, he better start up front and stay up front all race, because he's going to have a challenge through the whole playoffs this year, because I don't know if there's one person in the field that is happy with him right now.
No, he seems to be public enemy number one, within the grid.
Like I said last week,
his only friend is probably Suarez.
Well,
maybe.
Maybe because the team's going to make him, but he pissed Suarez off so much at Coda. He, wrecked into Alex Bowman with the official there. And if your own teammate is, if you can't even race, you see your own teammate on the track and you can't give him a little extra space or whatever. Forget the rest of the field.
So one thing that I did notice, what is with NASCAR and all of these freaking tires and the crew can't seem to keep track of their tires, and they're rolling around all the time.
Well, that's what happens when
maybe they need more people over the
that's what happens
wall.
When pit stops are actually competitive and have, some kind of, some involvement in the outcome of the race.
They do an IndyCar and they don't lose tires.
Yeah, but you still have one per side, or one per tire. It's just that
they have a tire catcher.
That's just the 9, busting out those 9-second moving pit stops. You only got 5 people over the wall.
That NASCAR and IndyCar need to get a gantry so they're not running air hoses across the ground like it's freaking old school days. IMSA even uses a freaking gantry. Every other motorsport uses a gantry above them.
But that's the cool competitiveness of the NASCAR pit stops, because you've had the cars run that hose over and pull the impact gun out of the thing, and that's a penalty. Just like speeding on pit road. Just like,
it seems like the only thing you can get a penalty in NASCAR is something on pit road. You don't get a penalty for anything on the track, just pit road.
but it makes it more of a team effort. 2020 when Chase Elliott won his championship, his pit crew got him that championship. 2021 when Larson won his championship, his pit crew got him that championship. 2020, one of Chase's, I think his Jackman went over the wall too quickly, but he was smart enough to turn around and touch pit lane wall, which gave, kind of reset that him jumping over because he lost that time advantage. And they got him out first, and that ended up winning him that championship. So I think it adds this goes back to what we were talking about with F1 and the strategy. It's more strategy. It's more things that can go wrong. More excitement where, like I said, 3 things are inevitable in a race. Or in life: death, taxes, Kyle Busch speeding on pit road.
How
He's
is that
sped
team,
on pit road again?
How has
yesterday.
that team not done anything to stop him from doing that? You would
And
think that Joe Gibbs Racing would
he's
be
with
losing
Richard Childress now.
Oh yeah, he left Gibbs.
Yeah.
Was he getting them there too?
Yes.
Were they like, look, dude, we can't do this anymore?
Kyle Busch is the only one that needs like the F1 IndyCar IMSA pit road speed, but
he needs
the limiter button.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that adds just another fun, and it does really suck when your driver gets sent to the rear of the field for something like this, that, or one of those things that I just mentioned. But
yeah, because a tire guy accidentally lost track of the tire, or something went over the wall and somebody else can't go and grab it. That's a penalty.
What was the one a couple weeks ago?
People over the wall.
Yeah, someone got too many men over the pit wall because, like, a guest in the thing, someone on the team, like, had this guest grab a tire or something, and he missed and fell over the wall, and that was a penalty.
It's just so annoying. It's like NASCAR has built all these things in just so someone can just screw up. Everyone will be you get on freaking F1 for all these stupid infractions, and yes, at least NASCAR is really quick on them. There's no after the race hey, you had a guy over the wall on lap 40.
What was the thing? There was something on the thing yesterday on the F1 broadcast yesterday where it was like, oh, he'll have a 5-second penalty, but since he won't be pitting again, it'll be added to the end of the race.
Yeah, it was Carlos Sainz, and I don't remember what that was. Oh, he was speeding on pit lane.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because he had a full-on lockup going into the pit lane.
Yeah, he didn't hit his button fast enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it adds another layer of strategy. It adds that, hey, you can't speed down pit road. They don't have the luxury of a button to maintain that speed. And they don't have a speedometer. They're using lights on their tack to basically base their speed off of.
You're telling me that stupid blurred out screen doesn't even have a speedometer on it?
Nope, there's no speedometer.
So what the hell are they showing the driver?
Water temp, oil pressure. One of the things that
why does the driver need to know that? They have
if you're overheating,
like IndyCar and F1, they have guys back at their home bases watching data as well. Why can't they just go on and say?
I don't know if a lot of them
if a lot of them do that, or if it's just the bigger teams.
No, if the I'm gonna say live data, because if the live data that engineers and everything have, if they know the water pressure or not oil pressure and water temperature and this and that, because you'll hear guys on the you'll hear the driver on the radio going, oh, my water temp is engine temp is rising and this and that, and crew chiefs will tell them to do this, that, and the other. So I don't know if the engineers and crew chiefs have all of that information. And I think it was after the 500 where Door Bumper Clear was complaining about those shots and how ugly it looked, because it does look real ugly with those the screens
it
all
looks like they're
blurred
watching
out.
adult films in there.
But one of the things they were hypothesizing is that the teams don't want the other teams seeing like the water temp they're running, because that can be a competitive advantage on there. So who knows?
Well, don't put it on a big ass screen.
Well, when TV wants those in-car cameras.
Okay, well, they've had those in-car cameras for how long? And it only has seemed to be an issue this year?
Not that driver's
that
eye. Yeah,
okay.
that driver's eye is.
Oh, yeah, because they're using the Bell helmets
camera
that F1 has used. IndyCar. Why hasn't IndyCar got that? I mean, they already have like 5 billion camera angles on those cars, which I think IndyCar has the best camera angles out of any series. But because I love the 360 cam on top. I think didn't NASCAR have something similar to that?
Yeah, I think they've always had just like rotating cameras that they can. I don't know so much about the 360s.
But if NASCAR can do it with, a windscreen, why can't they do it with the aero screen?
Yeah.
That'd be a badass shot too.
But
yeah. So off of the national series, you and I made our way to some local home roots.
The Buckeye Outlaw, the big series of the night was the Buckeye Outlaw Sprint Series. A bunch of wingless sprints.
And this was my first like proper dirt race. And I might, for background, for anybody who doesn't know, I come from asphalt oval racing my whole life. Worked at a track for 11 years. Used to race asphalt go-karts. Grew up around that kind of racing. And so I've never really been to dirt racing, even though I did win my first feature on dirt in karting. So that's cool. But my God, that was incredible. Those things are so fast.
And
in my mind, coming from, asphalt, I see these cars going like sideways and I'm like, oh man, they're gonna spin, and then they just go. All I could think whole night was Lightning McQueen. You gotta turn right to turn left.
Yeah. So much fun. I mean, that's all I can say. It's so much fun going out there. If you're not into dirt racing, go to a dirt track. Go
and I had the full experience being in turn 1 and 2. I was maybe only probably like 10 feet from the track, and it was a really dusty corner.
Yeah.
I had to go home and take a shower. There was dirt in my hair.
The funny thing is
my camera was all dirty.
The funny thing is, mine's still right here behind me, and you can't really see it in the lighting.
Oh yeah, yours is clean. Mine was filthy. It's covered. Luckily, the only thing that wasn't dirty was the lens.
It's actually even worse up in the stands. I don't know if you noticed this as we were walking by the merch trailers, but a lot of them will sell safety glasses because of all the dirt and stuff flying into the stands itself. But yeah, I mean,
I know my car felt it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go get a car wash tomorrow. I came home and I hosed my car down before I put it in the garage.
Your wife was telling me that at work today, and I was like, he did not. I was like, we got home at like I got home at like 12:20 something, and I'm like, you guys live 15 minutes from me. I'm like,
Yeah,
he
I got
did not.
home, uh, which you took a different way home than I did.
Did you? You were right behind me
Yeah,
then.
I turned
Okay.
right, you turned left, and I think I got to the get go over there, uh, by my house, the big one, close to like 12:30.
I ended
Stopped
up.
in there, and then I went home, hosed the car off, hosed myself off.
I ended up behind you halfway down the one road.
Yeah, I thought I saw you. Were you getting onto 224 behind me?
Yeah, yeah. I got
That
on.
was you, wasn't it?
I got on 21 behind you. You just drove like a maniac, and I drive like an old man.
Oh, that was you. I thought that
Yeah,
was you.
yeah.
And
I
I
was,
was like, and then I looked at my mirror. I was like, where is he at?
but yeah,
Hey, if I got a V6, I'm using the V6, man.
I've got a V8, and
You weren't using it.
it sucks down the gas. So,
Oh, I know it does.
but yeah, I mean, great trip out to Wayne County. We'll be making another one here in 8 days, a week from tomorrow, for Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet's High Limit series
Yeah, and then that weekend we'll probably be at Sharon
for
Speedway,
World of Outlaw
World of
sprints.
Outlaws, which I don't know. The family's thinking about going to Sharon this weekend. I don't know
Really?
if you work this weekend.
What's this week? Oh, is it just a normal
Just a
series?
normal series race. They got sprints. My dad wants to go to a race and he doesn't want to go to any of the asphalt tracks. So I was like, well, we can go to Wayne County or we can go to Sharon. I'd rather go to Sharon if I'm going to be at Wayne already.
Yeah.
Kind of get, my grounds for,
Yeah.
World of Outlaws.
Yeah, because that'll be my first time.
I mean, I got my pass right here, so I can go. I got my pass. I can just show up.
But yeah, it's gonna be a exciting couple weeks of dirt tracking because
Yeah, what we got here?
in 2 weeks, or 2 weeks from Saturday, is the Memorial Day weekend, is World of Outlaw late models
At
at
Sharon as
Sharon.
well. Yeah,
Yeah. So depending on working this weekend, man, I could be out all month long.
and then coming up in June, we have Ohio Speed Weeks, which should be pretty fun. And then we have Super Crown Nationals at Lorraine to see
That's
some super mods, which is exciting. I haven't seen those before, and then
yeah,
we roll into our
our big
our
yeah,
3-week stint at Mid Ohio for I think it's a Permco Grand Prix, the
the vintage Grand Prix with
IndyCar
Trans Am IndyCar,
and
and
then
then
NASCAR.
NAS trucks.
Yeah. And ARCA.
Felix making his weekly
And I think
visit.
ARCA is having their final race at Toledo again this year.
Yeah, I tried to get.
So
Do you have do you know anyone at Toledo? Because I tried last year. I emailed ARCA, and I think
well,
July.
we should just talk to the ARCA guys when we're at
Yeah.
NASCAR and ask them about it. And maybe if y'all,
We get those likes
I
up
mean,
and listens
over this
up.
broadcast, we've had like one or two or one, and they keep dropping. I don't know if you can see
No,
views or
I
anything
can't.
on. You can probably just see me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have to go
But-
full screen, or the backgrounds will reflect off my glasses, and it drives me crazy.
So yeah, the we've had a few views over this, more than YouTube. So I think this might be the platform. These videos will still be up on YouTube. I'll download them and upload them up to YouTube. But go on and follow us on all of our social media platforms. It's either at Ohio Motorsports or at From the Infield. Which, man, if we're going dirt, I mean, the From the Infield just works.
Yeah, it really does.
And,
So
make sure to go and buy us a coffee or a slice of pizza, whatever it's set up to do. Helps us run the show. Feed us while we're out shooting pictures. Feed us while we're at Mid-Ohio.
So our last segment, picks from last.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
I was like,
how man won that.
Did you remember to set your fantasy lineups?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I did. I did F1. I don't think I touched NASCAR.
I am catching up to you in NASCAR.
I keep forgetting.
Your lead is down to like 106 points. You forget one more time, we have a week like this week. 154 to 94.
Ooh. You're catching up.
And
then
honestly,
where the hell's my I gotta sign in. Oh my god.
On which one? F1 or NASCAR?
I think I have a week off. F1. I think we have a week off of F1. And then it comes back. Oh, no, maybe. No, yeah. I don't know what the hell my password is. I don't know what I'm at.
Let me pull it up and I can tell you probably who won. That is if F1's website doesn't want to send me to 9,000 different places. Go ahead with our picks from last week while I look that up.
So we have so I think we didn't do anything special for NASCAR. We just picked the winner or who we thought was going to be the winner. You had Bubba and I had I think it's Reddick because there's nobody else named Reddick. Tyler. Yeah. So where did they finish?
Bubba was third, and I think Tyler was somewhere in the top 10.
All right, so you won that one. And so then I think for F1 we did who was going to be last.
Yes.
And Logan Sargent finished last, but who was and I won that one because you picked Leclerc and I picked DeVries. And DeVries finished 18th and Leclerc finished 7th. So I was the closest.
This F1 fantasy site is about useless.
I think the IndyCar one is really nice. I like how they do theirs.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, everybody. Yeah, theirs is
my team.
Much better. Did we create?
So I have 2 teams now. I thought we did.
I don't know. It's not showing up, and
I don't know.
F1 making everything stupid and complicated. Okay, what did your team get points wise?
Which one?
Either or.
No, not Italy. I want. Oh my god.
My high points yesterday.
Team 1 got 317. Team 2 got 150 or 158.
So I win yesterday because my highest team was 318.
Oh, by 1 point. Who was on your team?
Yes. Alonso, Max, Sainz, Bottas, Hulkenberg.
I had
And then Red Bull and Aston.
Sainz, Albon, Magnussen, Alonso, Red Bull, and Aston.
So, yeah.
And then team 2 was Perez, Alonso, Hamilton, Magnussen, Verstappen, Aston Martin, and Haas because I ran out of money. So
and my team 2 did, or my team 1, because that was my team 2 that was better. My team 2 was 284. Oh, I think I have Max on 2 teams. Oh well.
I do as well.
Okay. All right.
So I think the next F1 race is what says 11 days is the lock-in. So I'm assuming it's next weekend. So my birthday, it will be on my birthday. So cool. And they will be in Italy. So we'll wait to do that one.
Yeah, we'll make those next. Yeah, because then next week we'll make Darlington this week.
Darlington, the throwback.
Yes.
And then it's the All-Star race after that, I think.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. I don't really pay much attention to the schedule until like really the week of, or but I don't know.
So
I can't think of any real fun picks because it's just another, I think it's a mile plus track. But
who will Ross Chastain hit this weekend?
Who's gonna want to punch Ross Chastain this week? I'm locking in my pick
Ross
with
Chastain.
I don't know about punches, but I'm locking my pick in at Kyle Busch. Because I think Kyle will give him, if he gets a chance this week, he will. Actually, it should just be Kyle and Kyle.
Yeah, I'll take Larson. You can take Busch.
I don't know how we'll figure out who wins this one, but
who gets effed over the most by Chastain?
Yeah.
And then Indy GP. It is the month. It's the month of May. We're gearing up for the greatest race in motorsport, or so they say. I mean, Herta won last year, but he's not looking that strong this year. You had Award last time. I had Grosjean. Neither of us have picked Herta at all this year.
Like you said, he's not doing very good, and I almost feel like it's a wasted pick. And we say that now, and he'll probably come through.
Yeah, he'll probably just dominate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick. Oh, okay. So I've picked Rossi, Award, Dixon, and Grosjean. I want to pick somebody different that I haven't picked. I'll go with Simon. No, I'm just kidding. I want to win. Sorry, MSR. Oh, crap. Who do I want to go with? I'll go with Marcus Ericsson.
Ooh. I don't think I've picked Rossi, have I? So
no, I have though. So
okay, I'll pick Rossi.
Good. Rossi. I'd love to see Rossi win. I want to see Grosjean win so
Yeah,
bad. Grosjean wants to see Grosjean win.
I think most of IndyCar wants to see Grosjean win.
It's time.
Yeah, but anything else?
I think
hour
that,
and 20 minutes. We did really good today, and not much sidetracks. We kind of stayed on topic. So we're getting better every week, people. One of these days, it'll be a full professional podcast.
Yeah, one of these days. And maybe we'll do some treats when we're at Mid-Ohio for those 3 weekends. Maybe we'll get a little bored when we're just sitting there when the racing's over, and we'll just go live and chat about racing. But yeah, that's all for today. Make sure to tune in on next Monday for our recap of Darlington and
Indy Road
GP. And I think we're gonna stay with Facebook for a little while, see how it goes. But again, you can always watch the podcast on YouTube, Facebook now, or listen to it and on Spotify. I think we're on iHeart and Amazon Music. So that's all, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week.